I mean, I just now became familiar with the letter. It's nothing new. It's the same
Scott Ritter,
tired tactics.
jurnalis Amerika dan pengamat independen, menilai surat terbuka Volodymyr Zelensky kepada Vladimir Putin sebagai taktik politik yang tidak serius. Ritter menyoroti serangan Ukraina di Starobelsk dan St Petersburg, serta sanksi panjang yang dijanjikan Zelensky sebelum mengajukan rencana perdamaian. Dalam kunjungan pertamanya ke St Petersburg International Economic Forum, Ritter juga menekankan bahwa Rusia tidak sedang terisolasi. Forum ini menunjukkan partisipasi lebih dari 136 negara dan peningkatan aktivitas ekonomi Rusia, menentang narasi Barat tentang kemunduran Rusia. Ritter menyarankan Amerika dan bisnis Barat membangun hubungan perlahan dengan Rusia sebelum berharap kesepakatan besar terjadi.
It's up to Russia to do with it as they see fit. This is my first time to the St Petersburg International Economic Forum. I was invited in 2024, but as I got on the airplane, the U.S. government pulled me off and took my passport. They decided that the work I was doing in Russia somehow was a threat to the United States. They accused me of being a Russian agent. And it took me over a year to fight back and finally get my passport returned. So in many ways, this is a victory to be here. It's a victory of free speech in America, and it's a victory of the prospects of peaceful relations. I know I'm just one citizen, but you know, it begins one step at a time. And to have an American here in St. Petersburg at this time, I think is very important. We have to put it in the background that we're entering the 5th year of a major conflict between Russia and the collective West. Russia has been subjected to stringent economic sanctions in efforts to politically isolate Russia. In the West, the stories are that Russia is weakening, support for the government is plummeting, the economy is collapsing. So to come here to the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum and you see just the opposite. My understanding is last year there were 10,000 people who visited. This year there's more than 20,000. So Russia's not being isolated. Russia's increasing its exposure. 136 plus countries are represented here. We see major expositions of Russian energy. You know, and the point is, if one thinks that Russia's being defeated, that Russia is a nation in collapse, this forum proves the opposite. Any contact between Russians and Americans is good contact. It can be as peculiar as you want it to be. It can be anything, but you know, remember under Joe Biden, there was no contact at all. And so for the United States, I would say for any American business, if you think you can just come to St. Petersburg and have things start the way they were, I think you're mistaken. Relationships require time and trust, and there's going to have to be a rebuilding of trust. There's no reason for Russia to trust Americans today. So before you come here thinking you're going to sign a big deal, why don't you come here and just meet the Russians and be friends with the Russians and develop a relationship with the Russians. And from that, then the deals, I believe, can happen. Well, I think Russia made it clear that Russia didn't leave the West left Russia. And Russia had to adjust. They had no options. And so Russia is doing business with the nations that want to do business with Russia. And that's just the reality of it. And what I've learned of Russians is if they make an agreement, they stick to the agreement. So again, in the West, if we think that we can come in here and have Russia leave their relationships and come back to us, they're mistaken. I think when Russia does business in Africa, it means it's staying in Africa. When they do business with China, it's a long-term business relationship.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.